Hi, everyone. Welcome into Primetime TV Show. I'm one of your hosts, Barbara Marville-Kelly. I'm excited about our show today. I have my bodyguard with me and husband, Dennis Kelly.
Good being here.
Hey, champ. And one of my besties, Ms. Helena Trangata, also known as Tinkerbella, because she flutters her little fairy wings in the entire community and brings us some really great moments of joy. How are you today? And Happy New Year. I'll probably be saying that throughout the entire year. I was
going to say Happy New Year. Today's the 20th.
It is the 20th, right. So if you saw my Facebook post, we're talking about our 2020 vision that is going to continue throughout the entire year. My husband and I are on a mission, along with my friend, to raise the awareness on what we can do to live a better, healthier lifestyle. And so therefore, we have started a special edition called the Hit Parade. Anything that passes through our fingers, anything that we have tried that we're excited and passionate about, we want to share with you.
We might even talk about something we didn't really like.
Well, we could have a show that they didn't pass the test.
That's right.
Right. Mm-hmm. But just so you know, and if you know me from my days at HSN, I'm all about science. My husband is as well, all about science, and I got her involved too. Does it have science? Does it have features and benefits? What's the background? What's the clinical studies? Right? I drive you crazy.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
You do.
I do.
All the time.
But hasn't it helped? Right?
I suppose so.
When you can talk about products or programs or services that really does have that substantiation behind it and the validation, don't you want to know a little bit more information? I know that I do. And one of the things that is really hot right now, and has been, it's not news to us, is energy, frequency. How many times have you heard us talk about that? Frequency. And not only that, if you take a look around the world and what's happening in pain management, there are so many people that are having issues with addictions to drugs, medications, and side effects and all of that.
We're still in an opioid crisis.
We are still in an opioid crisis. And to that point, this little lady sitting next to me rocks babies who are addicted, right?
Some of them are. Many of them are.
Exactly.
And they're addicted because mommy was addicted, of course.
That's right.
So I see it firsthand, and it's just scary. It's so scary. What mom's going through, and I've seen moms stand at the side of the baby's crib and cry, and I've seen moms that are going back, have delivered, but now they're going back to jail because they're already locked up for something, and I also see moms who the baby's not going home because mom cannot kick the drug. So I see both sides of it. Of course, my biggest concern is the baby, but we all need to be aware of what's going on. And so we are always looking for something that is drug-free. That's a big thing for us, is to find something that's drug-free and holistic. And that's what I think our goal is to find something that we can believe in, we see that it works, and it's going to help us without all those nasty side effects of the drugs.
That is so true. And I know you've been rocking babies for how long now?
It'll be 4 years in April.
4 years. Look at how she smiles with such joy for those little babies. And so getting back to the opioid crisis and all, and yes, you're right. We try to find products and things that we can bring to you where we have done the homework, we have tried it, and then we just bring it to you and you decide, well, maybe you might want to try it, okay? Something that I want to share with you that really is related to this is how frequency affects our bodies. To some people, it's like, a new thing, a new trend, but it's always been around, right? And to my right is the energy master, my husband.
Master of energy, right?
That's right. And you've been teaching the Tai Chi and Qigong, and that's all about energy and everything. But you shared something with me that I didn't know on the way up to the studio. And that was when you had your dance schools, right?
Right.
And you told me that you did a frequency test with all of your professional dance instructors.
Right. We're talking about frequencies 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And, people used to say, well, what is that all about? It's like, for example, you listen to certain music, and then you decide it's not the music you want to listen to, so you turn the dial, change the frequency to get some other music that you may like. Life is like that. Every thought we have is a frequency. High frequency, low frequency, positive frequency, negative frequency. And when you take that personal responsibility as an employee to keep your frequency level up, that can be controlled through certain effortless things. It's so simple, but people, they got this mindset, we're a physical body. The fact, when you look in the mirror, that's not really you. What happens when you look in the mirror, that's these little electrons going at the speed of light, evolving, so it takes, like if you had a little bucket and tied a rope to it and swing it around the air, eventually it looks solid. The same thing when you look in the mirror, we got all those little electrons going at the speed of light, and that's what gives us this appearance of a physical body. The Asians that practice the martial arts and things of that nature, they look at the body as a spiritual body, not a human body. The human body is limited. The spiritual body, there's no limits. It's a mindset. So if for example, take neutral, you don't have a frequency, you're not thinking anything at that point. It's very hard to do. But anyway, say you're at neutral. If you want to really be healthy and happy, you pick a frequency above neutral. If you want to let yourself go down the tube, or don't practice or exercise, eat the wrong food, then you create a low frequency. So we can sort of page that frequency based on how we feel. And once you can start doing that, you can really get good at it. Like my whole staff, every day they would turn in what they felt the frequency total was a day. Was it plus or minus? That's the key thing.
Was there a scale 1 to 10? Or
yeah, scale 1 to 10 going up, scale 1 to 10 going down. And I had this big board made that we would teach each of us how to keep our frequency high. That's the main. Once the frequency's up, you have better health, stronger, better athlete, better father, better mother. It's a matter of taking control of your life. I have never I never ran into anyone that really completely understands that. So that's like an open closet, so to speak.
Exactly, and we've also talked about how you've used frequency in your 6 world championships and in between, because he also carries 13 national titles in full contact karate. Now, I know that may not have anything to do with what we're about to talk with the exception of frequency. It's a real thing. So I wanted you to understand that, because your school became #1 and stayed #1 after doing this frequency test.
We broke every record there was. I kept my staff. I had always staff that would be productive more than other staff, because I made them responsible about their frequency. In fact, they would judge the other group's frequency and turn that in at the end of the week, what their idea of the group's frequency total, because that's each individual frequency. And if they look at the group frequency as being low, chances are their frequency was low.
So basically, you kept balance with the frequency on your dance team of instructors.
Like, for example, if you're really you're euphoric, you are excited about something, your frequency goes up to 10.
Yes.
But you don't want to stay at 10. That's impossible. Stay at 10, you'd burn out. You would basically, it would be the same thing as having a bad frequency. So you enjoy the frequency as you're high, then balance yourself. And Buddhism teaches that, the balance. So pick around 3 or 4 levels of frequency which you go with for the rest of the day. Then it's all right to get excited, raise that frequency. If you feel you need to raise it, do something to get the frequency up. That's not difficult to do.
No, it's not, and you clearly have proven that. So that's a perfect segue for us to start talking about something that you've had a chance to try. You've had a chance to try, and anybody that I've talked to about the company Voxx Life is very excited about having frequency. Imagine having frequency in a sock, such as this, and or the frequency of an insole. Now, you wear the insoles in your shoes. My husband is wearing the socks in his. So I want to start with you in what kind of experience you've had with the insoles, and then we'll have my husband talk about what he experienced the first day with the socks. Now, mind you, there's all kinds of different ways to deliver some of this frequency, whether it's the mindset or you need a little help, right?
Well, because this has a technology. So nanotechnology is the biggest new thing probably in the holistic world right now, because they're wearable technologies.
Yes.
So you can wear, as you know, you've got Apple Watches and you've got Fitbits and all of that, and some of them will measure your heartbeat or your heart whatever. These are not measuring. It's actually sending messages to your brain. So we started this because my husband had, is it okay to talk about Joe first?
Yes.
My husband, Joe, was supposed to be here tonight, but he's just not quite up to it. And he has a balance problem. And he had fallen a couple of times, and I was worried about him. And so I met a gal who was selling these socks, and I was like, what the heck, let's try it. So I took them home, I gave them to him, and he was like, yeah, right, that's his belief system, yeah, right, I think we could raise his frequency a bit, but anyway, he tried them.
That's a good one. Hi, Joe, we love you.
Yeah. He tried them, yes, honey, we do. And immediately, he actually felt like it had helped his balance. And he works at the hospital 2 days a week as a volunteer.
And you said that he pulled his back because he was pushing one of the wheelchairs today.
Today,
Yeah,
So
just
he
today.
actually pulled his back out, which has nothing to do with the socks, because the socks probably aren't going to help his back, but nevertheless, he didn't fall while he was doing it.
That's good. That's
And
good.
he has fallen once at the hospital and once another time, and I just couldn't believe it when he came into me. He goes, these socks work. I can't believe it. And I was like, I couldn't believe that he was telling me that, because usually he just blows off anything I tell him about. So I
he's
was like,
sold on them.
He's sold on them. So
Yeah.
he's wearing insoles some days, socks some days.
Whichever
Whichever
works for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, depending on what shoes you wear and
Yeah.
all. And I decided to try them as well, because who can't use a little help at our age?
Speak for yourself. No, I'm just kidding. We're having fun
I
here.
am
No,
6
but you know
months
what?
younger than Barb.
That's the
Older
bottom
than
line.
Barb.
It's the bottom. Yeah, you are.
6 months older than Barb.
Well,
and so
it's
I mean,
true.
right now we're the same age, but soon I will be older than
We got to talk about that age thing. But honestly, all kidding aside, it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and that's why we do these shows, because we have friends and family that just are going through stuff. So if we can bring in just a little something that might make a difference, because one of the worst things that can happen to us when we do add years to our life is to fall. And I didn't realize that until you know what happened, and I went down on the dance floor. But even before that, I took a tumble on a curb somewhere. When we get older, it seems like our inner organs get, I don't know, moved around or something. It's not like we bounce back like a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old, right? So if we have a little bit of help from our friends, then we may be able to share that.
so I decided to try it as well.
So you're wearing these?
I'm wearing those and
All
my
right.
boots today.
Okay.
And I, unlike Joe, didn't really have this issue of balance per se. However, what I found is much more subtle than Joe's solution, I would guess you would say, is since I don't have a balance issue, I have found that I just feel more stable. Like the other day, I had to park somewhere, and I could walk through a ravine, or I could walk around on the concrete. I decided to walk through a ravine because I knew that I could walk up that other side, because I felt stable. And that might not have been a choice when I didn't have these on before I was wearing these.
That's right.
I just got back from a couple weeks down at the beach. I decided to measure whether or not I could walk further with them, and I could. So that was like, so one day I went barefooted, and one day I went with flip-flops, and then I decided to go with tennis shoes without the insoles. And I was stressing a little bit on the way back, and the next day I went with insoles. I went further and felt better.
See, I love to hear that.
So to me, they're worth it for me. And I've heard wonderful testimonies. We gave them can I tell about our neighbor? So we have a 92-year-old neighbor, Mrs. Brown, and we love her and her husband. And they're at that age where they kind of hang out in the house, and they set out in their driveway and chairs. So we went over, and she wears these little loafers, and I said, how you doing? And she said this before, my feet are bothering me. So I looked down, and her feet are red. And I said, well, why don't you try these socks and just see if they help? She put them on, She has not taken them off. She wears them 24/7, and her feet do not hurt. It's not like they don't hurt, that they hurt less. They don't hurt at all.
That's
And so she's very happy to be wearing them 24/7. And that makes my heart feel good
See,
that I can help our neighbors
yeah.
feel a little bit better
little
and
bit
enjoy
better.
their senior years
Exactly.
just a little bit more.
That is so true. And the thing is that unless you're introduced to something like this, now Mrs. Brown, if she hadn't heard about them, she would still be feeling discomfort. And I just want to let everyone know that we're not here to diagnose, treat, or make any claims of curing from pain or disease or anything like that, just so you know. But let's talk about the technology here. I want to show you what is on the bottom of this. We have a little video clip that we're going to show you as well, especially if you're a golfer, right? I mean,
Any type of athletic profession, so to speak,
Yeah.
can benefit from them. It's there again. We're all individuals. I can't say that you're going to benefit. Any one of you
That's
is going
right.
to benefit. Kelly's going to tell you his story in a few minutes. He has found some benefit in them, and this golfer has definitely found something.
Perfect segue. We're going to go to that video right now. We'll be right back.
My name is Chip McDaniel. I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, and I am a PGA Tour golfer. Being part of the PGA at 23, it gives me a lot of confidence. The average PGA Tour rookie is 28. I feel like I'm ahead of schedule. I try not to think about that, and I try to just play golf. When you play at a high level, every shot matters. And if you take one shot off, if you're not focused for one shot, it could cost you a cut made. It could cost you a top 10 getting in the next week. It could cost you so much. Every shot matters when you play golf at a high level. A friend told me about Voxx Life. He told me I should try it, thought it would help me. The first time I got my insoles, I put them in my golf shoes. I just went straight to the tee. I wasn't really loose or anything, and normally those shots get to me when I don't warm up and stuff. I just piped it down the middle of the fairway. So everything feels easier, my swing feels easier. I basically have trained myself in previous years, in between shots, just not think about anything. Since I started using the tech, I don't have to consciously tell myself to not think about anything between shots. It just comes natural. My mind just flows better. I just am able to be laser focused on the shot at hand. We're out here at University Club of Kentucky. We played some holes, went to the driving range and hit on the TrackMan. Kind of compared the TrackMan numbers with the tech and without the tech.
I'm looking at some of the data here from with tech and without. With the driver, you were 149 average smash factor without tech, and you were 1.51 smash with the tech. 163 average ball speed without tech, and then 168 average with tech. It tells you that the efficiency of its hit is as good as it can get, and clearly was better with the tech than without. Ball speed is what you want to go up. That directly translates into hitting it further.
With the tech on, the TrackMan results were really good. We kind of just confirmed stuff that I already knew with data.
So when you're talking about playing at his level, the margin of error is so slim that the more efficient you can be, it's just going to enhance your scoring opportunities, and it's going to help you get that ball in the hole a little bit quicker.
I've got a busy summer. Hopefully it incurs a lot of PGA Tour starts and a lot of PGA Tour high finishes. You got to get a little bit better every day. It's mostly just mental, and it's mostly just confidence. It's basically what differentiates the top guys from the mid-level guys. Shot 63 on Sunday in a PGA Tour event with former major champions. If that doesn't give you confidence, I don't know what will.
So there you have it with an athlete playing golf and improving. And as an athlete, athletes need anything they can do to have their performance a whole lot better. And speaking of an athlete, I happen to be sitting next to one that I married, and that happens to be a martial artist, 6-time world champion, Mr. Dennis Kelly. You happen to have some good results from the men's socks, right?
Yeah.
And I want you to tell everybody, because we wanted you to give a shot at it, because we were going to be bringing these on the show, and we wanted to see what was going to happen. So the first day, tell us.
It wasn't hard to find something positive, because the one thing that, by me being in the martial arts, every class I teach, everything I do, I'm very acute to my body and mind. In other words, I know if things are going good, if things aren't going so good, and I can change it because of the fact that I'm sensitive to it. So when I tried the first day, I put the socks on, halfway through the class I noticed my balance. Not that my balance is bad, but the key thing is you can always improve your balance.
Right.
So there's certain moves in Tai Chi that are very difficult, and I noticed that it was easier to do those movements, so it helped my balance, which of course made the movements flow better, it raises my frequency, and there's a cascade of things happen that are positive. When you improve your balance physically, it helps your mental balance also.
Yes. Yes.
And your emotional balance. So when you do a physical thing, the balances are improved in your mental and spiritual, and when you do a spiritual thing, it improves your body, your well-being, and your physical and mental and emotional, all working as a package to make the day go better and improve whatever thing that you're doing, changing the quality of what you're doing.
That's very good. So a world champion, we all know, well, I kind of sort of know, because I have to watch him with all his training, his Joe Louis routines, his punching and kicking, the bag, and all of that for years. We've been together almost 22 years, and out of those, my goodness, how many years did you go out and compete?
I've been competing since 1976.
So, as a winning champion, how important is balance in the ring, Mr. Tango Man, who would dance around and make the opponents chase you? How important is balance in the ring?
Very important. Very, sort of like sock it to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is.
So any of these aspects of thinking in a positive way, in emotional or physical or mental, is the benefit. One helps the other. It's a trilogy. Keep your eye with the ball in the air. Like when you're juggling, keep your eye with the ball in the air. That's what they do, so they can do 3 or 4 balls. And as a result, everything is connected.
Exactly. And we've been talking about frequency. It's not anything new to us. It is to a lot of people. And it's like Joe, that, you were shocked. I was shocked, because he's kind of like the devil's advocate, sort of, or the naysayer, like, yeah, sure, that's not going to work. And then for him to have the results that he did, because how many hours does he spend on his feet at the hospital volunteering?
Well, he has 4-hour sessions that he works. Of course, there's, walking in time and going home time. So, he's probably up on his feet 5 hours.
That's a lot.
And it's a lot, and we didn't mention the fact that he's diabetic and he has neuropathy as well. So that has also helped that issue. So I, like I said, he sold me. I thought it was great that it would help his balance. And when it did help his balance, I was like, oh, yes.
You're going,
yeah.
Oh, let's pat myself on the back. That's so great.
Now I've just heard all kinds of testimonials that are just amazing. And I, because I have a heart for babies, I heard one yesterday about how it is they're actually, some of our products are actually helping autistic children, and that just does my heart good.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
there was a lady there yesterday.
I was just going to ask you about her.
Who had MS, was diagnosed at a very young age with MS, and was in a wheelchair, and her friend told her about the socks, and she said, I don't want to try another thing. I don't want to get my hopes up. You don't know what it's like to get your hopes up and always have them crash. And so she finally wore the socks, and we have a sleeve that's supposed to help with your cognitive issues. She wears that, and she spoke yesterday. She is up and walking. She did have a limp, and she felt like that limp should go away. She felt like she should have a miraculous recovery, but you know, she could be in a wheelchair. So we've got to always be thankful. You know, Barbara and I always talk about the fact that we've got to be grateful for where we are today, because there's always someone who is not as good as we are.
That's
and
true.
So to just allow people to have a option to have a little bit more health in their life is wonderful for me.
Well, and the thing is it's drug-free. That's what I love.
Oh, yeah.
It's safe. And the clinical studies, if you go on to the website, tinkerbella.voxxlife.com, you'll see that here. It's VOXXLIFE.com. You can do some of your own research, but I dug this up today before the show, and the latest research with the effectiveness of HPT, the foot stimulation on balance, stability, and strength, and on pain management. There's so many supportive studies in neuroscience, acupuncture, consciousness and the brain stem, distribution and behavior of something that I can't even say, but having to do with the human foot sole. The list goes on. I'm going to ask you about something we mentioned just before the show on this mapping sensory nerve communication. Brain mapping? Is that what you said?
Right.
Talk to me about
We have
that.
a doctor who, that's what he does. He takes people that are using this technology, and including the woman that was there yesterday with the MS, and they map their brain without the technology. They map the brain with the technology, and they're going to be in a year-long study to see how the long-term effects are of this. And so far, we're seeing the long-term effects are definitely cumulative, which is awesome. But the woman who had the MS, she expected her brain activity to be really slow. And so on the scan, it shows blue is slow. However, hers was not blue, it was red. Red and orange, it was like firing, and they said that that is, you know, I'm not a medical person, but I'm just going to say what they said. They said that that meant that was just firing so much that she couldn't gather her thoughts together. It was like she was just overthinking everything. So that was what it was without the technology. She wore the technology, and then her brain was mapping as gray, which is the optimum. A little tiny bit of color, but mainly gray. And their hope is that it will stay that way and even get less color and more gray as they go along. And they showed several scans, maps of different people who had done this. I mean, a guy who had had a really bad injury he was a figure skater. He was a professional figure skater. And it's just amazing when you see that the science behind it. It's like, yes, I can say, because I'm Tinkerbella, I can say, well, these are magical insoles, and they're going to make you feel better. I could say that, and that could be true, but I like, and as you've pointed out, you know, I like to know the science behind it, and I like to know they can help more than just the person who has a little balance issue. It can help somebody recover from an illness. Not recover maybe, but at least their quality of life is better.
That's important. It really is. I want to read something here real quickly. Possible contribution of basal ganglia brainstem system to the pathogenesis of Parkinson's disease. Did you hear that,
I
Chad?
heard that.
And this was from Japan. And right here at the bottom it says, backed by research, proven by science. I'm going to give this to you. California Sport Institute, Applied Neuroscience, and Life Chiropractic College, which is where actually a couple of my former chiropractors went to school. So, and there's more on the website if you go ahead and take a look at it. The socks run from $35 up, and the insoles start at $50, and I highly recommend that you go ahead and check these products out. do your homework, do your research, get a favorite beverage, just sit down on the link. We've done some of our own research, and that's why we're bringing this to you with the studies, with the science behind it that has been proven. So you try the products and see how they work for you. We're going to be moving along now to something else that can give you another option for help with discomfort and possibly make a difference in your life. And like I say, the socks, the inserts are one option. We will be bringing through the year 2020 and then some, as much as we possibly can to you. But we're going to switch gears now to something called LifeWave. And I am going to let you know that my husband and I and Tinkerbella, we've all tried this particular product and couldn't believe the results on that. I'd like to go ahead, when we can, is pop up a little video clip to give you some background on the company and how this product works. Again, we're bringing to you the science and the documentation that is behind this product as well. That's all you're ever going to see on prime time. Let's go ahead and take a look at that if we can, John.
My name is Chip McDaniel. I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, and I am a PGA Tour golfer. Being part of the PGA at 23, it gives me a lot of confidence. The average PGA Tour rookie is 28. I feel like I'm ahead of schedule. I try not to think about that, and I try to just play golf. When you play at a high level, every shot matters. And if you take one shot off, if you're not focused for one shot, you know, it could cost you a cut made. It could cost you a top 10 getting in the next week. It could cost you so much. Every shot matters when you play golf at a high level. A friend told me about Voxx Life. He's told me I should try it, thought it would help me. The first time I got my insoles, I put them in my golf shoes. I just went straight to the tee. I wasn't really loose or anything, and you know, normally those shots get to me when I don't warm up and stuff. I just piped it down the middle of the fairway. So everything feels easier, my swing feels easier. I basically have trained myself in previous years, in between shots, just not think about anything. Since I started using the tech, I don't have to consciously tell myself to.
And we are back, and I'm glad that we showed that Voxx video because it just gives you another chance to see for golfers and athletes and all that on the socks and the inserts. But I want to talk about these patches. This is really kind of mind-blowing. We were talking about frequency, right? We provided them with one product, and now we're providing them with patches. Are you patched today?
I am patched.
I'm patched. You didn't get patched today.
No, I've been neglected.
No,
Well,
it was
we
your
were
day.
try-
It was your day to be off your patch.
Right.
But
Well, I think he was not on the patches because you wanted to see what the socks did without the patches.
that's right. We
what
were
I-
experimenting.
we were experimenting.
And that's what we do. We experiment for you guys so that you can, see what's going on.
Right.
So let's talk about more wearable technology. I love the word wearable technology. And again, it's all about frequency. And excuse me, when my friend Leslie told me about this, I go, really? Because there's a lot of different companies out there that tout patches, and we have tried some of them. But nothing like this technology, and the company has been around for such a long time. We have been getting unbelievable results. We'll share our own results on the LifeWave patches, but we do have the LifeWave video that we're going to go ahead and toss to, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
They said it couldn't be done to boost cellular activity using light with wearable technology like this? No way. But they didn't know this inventor, David Schmidt, LifeWave's founder and CEO, who made what some said was impossible, possible. David's commitment to tap into our natural human energy at the cellular level without drugs or stimulants led to LifeWave being launched in the early 2000s. His mission? To share products with the world that enhance people's health, wellness, beauty, and longevity without drugs. Today, after thousands of clinical studies on light therapy, it's an accepted science, and LifeWave is at the forefront of it all. The big break came in 2004 during the U.S. Olympic trials, where elite swimmers under NCAA coaching icon and LifeWave proponent Richard Quick were setting their own lifetime records using LifeWave's energy enhancers, our first product. The word got out. Controversy, driven by skeptics, followed. But LifeWave was proven to be a safe, non-drug technology. A tidal wave of interest rolled in, of professional athletes, trainers, health practitioners, scientists, as well as everyday people, finding out that things were just better with LifeWave. More energy, more stamina, more enthusiasm for life. But David didn't stop there. He refined the science, inventing new ways to reduce pain, to improve sleep, to get rid of stress, and more, all without drugs. National stories, interviews, celebrity partnerships followed. Then, people in other countries heard of LifeWave's unique products, and the international growth wave began. After all, when you feel great, it shows in any language. And then it happened. You've heard of the Big Bang Theory? LifeWave's Big Bang was no theory, and it changed everything. It was summer 2018. Stem cells and the growing awareness of their ever-increasing value within the human body made headlines across the world. But for more than 10 years, David Schmidt had already been researching our body's aging process and how stem cells could help. He zeroed in on what was possible in activating existing stem cells. And then he figured out how to use LifeWave technology to elevate a copper peptide already proven, with decades of research behind it, to activate stem cells without injections. And the rest is history. X39 was born. When X39 launched in early 2019, the response was stunning. The testimonials flowed in. Today, it has proven to be an invention that has taken the world of health and wellness by storm, and it is changing people's lives everywhere. And LifeWave is growing fast as a result. David says X39 is his best achievement yet. The world is turning to LifeWave. Distribution in more than 100 countries, over 80 clinical, research and published studies, more than 100 filed and issued worldwide patents held by David, including over 70 in the field of regenerative science, and zero competition. What's it all mean? If you are hearing about LifeWave for the very first time, you are standing at a crossroads. The opportunity for you to profit from our accelerating growth is now. Will you be among those who take advantage? LifeWave is established, proven, at the start of something big, really big. And you're at the threshold too. You can help people discover how great it feels to feel great again with LifeWave. This is the definition of opportunity. This is LifeWave.
And how these patches can work and might be an answer to help you with discomfort, with balance, with concentration and focus, among so many other things. And I'm trying to think of when we actually started wearing these patches. It was last year sometime. Was it in the fall?
Oh, yeah.
Before Thanksgiving or something like
Right.
that. And the reason why we wanted to try them because they came from a very reputable person who was actually on the show on Veterans Day, Leslie Ferguson Moore. And I've known Leslie ever since all my days at HSN. We actually launched a product together and did very well on HSN. Very schooled with skill sets on what we can say, what we can't say, and I trusted her. Anything she's ever brought to me, I trusted. And sure enough, so she brought some patches over after she called me up one day and said, "Hey, Toots, what are you doing these days?" And I go, "Uh-oh."
You always smile when you
Here we go.
Right?
I know, right? So she brought the patches over, and they look just like this, the X39, which is the LifeWave X39. And what's great about these patches is you just simply peel this off, put it on at the back of your neck or on your stomach. I actually have mine on my low back because I did that yesterday, and it really worked very, very well. Now, my husband wore his the first day. Now, mind you, he's had right arm shoulder pain. For some reason, it's reared its ugly head after shoulder injury, right? What were you doing? Were you were playing baseball or something?
Playing baseball years ago, and I fell backwards and knocked out my rotacuff, and so I've had a lot of problems since then. I adjusted to it. I have a certain amount of pain every class that I teach, but I've learned to be accustomed to it. So the interesting thing, when I took the patch, the X39, I was going on my shoulder to see if that would help, and it helped. Even the first day it helped some.
And where were you on a pain level from a 1 to a 10?
Well, on the average, it's probably around a 7 or 8, and sometimes it's as much as a 9, almost a 10.
And you come home several times saying, I was almost on the verge of tears. It was that bad, because some of the movements, he has to go like this. This was one of the worst ones, little circles, tiny circles that you do in Tai Chi, right?
Right.
And it was after that that he noticed, and it seems like just the last year it's gotten worse. So the first day, you lowered your, it was at a 7, right?
Yeah, 7 or 8 normally.
Okay.
So it lowered to a 5, and that's a big step.
Yes.
5 or
Yes.
sometimes 4 or 3. And so, but the interesting thing, what happens, I didn't know anything about the technology of
He
this.
didn't know any of the technology.
I had no idea, so
I
I
just said,
couldn't-
here, let me do this and see what happens, right?
It's
Right,
magic.
so anyway,
It's magic.
I was going with the only knowledge that this is supposed to help your pain. Well, it did, but the interesting thing is something else happened. My mental acuity was much better that day. And at first I didn't put the two together, but then I realized I'm thinking better than I normally think, and my mental acuity is better. Being with Parkinson's disease, it affects your mental acuity big time. And for that to improve, that was a big deal. That was even more important than the pain.
Now, that was after one day, putting the
one
patch.
day. One day.
One day. Now, everybody gets different results. We all know that. There's no cookie-cutter humans, right? So we put that right at the top of his neck. And then the next time, because you teach back-to-back classes, tomorrow is your back-to-back day
Right.
of Tai Chi classes. I mean, he goes right from one class to the other. So the next time that we patched you, how far down did it go? I think you told me it was like a 2 or a 1.
Yeah, around that vicinity. It's between a 2 and a 1 and a 3. It vacillated between the 3 of those things. And the interesting thing about the X39, when you put the patch in the back of your neck, it seeks out the weakest link in your body.
That's right.
It actually, it activates the stem cells, and then that seeks out your weakest link and goes to work at making that better. Then if that isn't enough, they got specialized little...
For pain. These were one of the first
specialized
ones.
for pain.
These 2 little patches, and there's several different protocols for using these patches. And like I say, everybody gets different results. We're not here to diagnose, treat, or make cure claims. But if you can wrap your head around frequency and understand, go to our link, Stem Cell Breakthrough, it's spelled THRU.com, and you'll see all the research. I mean, this company has 80 clinical public studies that have been done, 100 worldwide patents, and distribution in over 100 countries, and has been around a long time, and we came in just at the right time. And like when I called you, you just signed up right quick because you've been hanging around us a long time, and you've already known about frequency. So what happened when you did try that? She's so sold on them. I mean, she's like one of our best testimonials too.
Well, for me, there again, I don't have a debilitating anything that I know of, and I'm happy about that, I'm very grateful. But it just raised my level of joy. It's almost like we use essential oil called joy sometimes, and I'll notice that when I use that, it's very similar in the fact that I'll be driving in the car, and I'm like singing with the radio, I'm kind of bopping along, and I'm like, I am having a great day today, and I don't have anything to point to what causes that except for the patches.
It's the only thing different that you did.
And the fact that it's building my own stem cells, that seems to be a pretty cool thing to me. Not that I know very much about stem cells, not that I know
Exactly.
very much about building them. I don't really care.
No, well,
I care that I feel better.
see, and that's
And
it.
I do believe that my mental acuity, just like Kelly was saying, is better. I feel like a little more focused. I tend to be a little multi-focused many times.
Oh, really? Not you.
And I do feel like I'm a little more focused when I'm wearing them, and I wear them almost every day.
And-
I do
unless
forget
we
occasionally.
forget.
We do forget occasionally.
Yeah,
but,
and we notice it, right?
you notice it. But
Yeah.
there is an accumulative effect, I believe, too. So even if I miss one day, if I put it on the next day, I don't feel like I'm really missing much. Maybe if I were, it's like they kind of said with the insoles, it's like, well, if you want to know what they're doing, leave them off for a few days. Well, I think that's kind of the truth with this. If you want to know what they're doing, leave them off for a few days, you'll know.
Oh, trust me. Yes, you will know. And, the other thing is there's a lot of people going through some challenging times, whether it's financial or physical health issues and things like that. And again, we're not here to diagnose or make claims or treat or anything like that. We're just talking about these little
We're
patches.
sharing what works for us. That's really what it boils down to.
Well,
because you're our best friends.
Exactly.
And she
you
shares
don't
with
know.
me, and I share with her,
And then we
we're always
share out
sharing
in the
with you.
community. Exactly. But to activate your stem cells, here's a little bit of information. As we age, our stem cells decline in their ability to heal our bodies, just like our HGH, our human growth hormone. Imagine if we could activate our stem cells and reset them. That's basically what we're trying to do, is to reset our stem cells to a younger, healthier state. This could be a healing completely non-invasive, safe, and cost-effective. Under $100, 30-day return policy. If you order the LifeWave X39, this is the one that taps into your own stem cells. Now, I know you had a nice explanation before the show about how these work and what happens with the stem cells, because stem cell is all the rage today in the health evolution, revolution, whatever you want to call it, right?
Right. Well, what the stem cell does, first of all, like you mentioned, there are over 100 trillion stem cells, or cells, in our body when we're young, when we're born. By the time you go to our age, there's only 50 billion left that are functional. What this does, it activates the stem cells that aren't doing their job, and it also, a stem cell is a cell that localizes. Like, for example, if you think of the cells in the eyes are different than the cells in the feet, the cells on the heart are different than the cells on the lungs. So what this does, it cloaks itself into that cell and helps that cell do its job that it's supposed to do. So it becomes that, for example, a cell like the X39, it encourages the other cells to come alive, so to speak, and gives them the incentive to come alive through whatever the copper, it's like copper peptides. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
This is a new thing that has recently been discovered, helps facilitate that whole process.
I'll tell you, I love to talk about this because it really does make a difference. And the LifeWave X39 is clinically proven to provide the body with a level of health and vitality that you have not experienced since you were in your youth, because we start losing them. Backed by multiple clinical studies and 20 years of development, the LifeWave X39 patch has been demonstrated to provide an abundance of health products, or health benefits, excuse me. Didn't you say something about your eyes in the beginning when we started taking, was it this that you had mentioned?
Yeah, well, it affects the eyes too, because it goes to the eyes, and whatever cells need to be activated, once again, it's the same process. There's not quite as many mitochondria in the eyes, so there's fewer. So that's why keeping your eyes in good shape, doing things, taking the right vitamins that helps your eyes, because of the fact that there's not as many of these type of cells in the eye.
I think that's important to say too, is that this is just one solution, possible solution for each of us. You can't go out and be very hard on your body and eat improperly and expect this to fix all your issues.
No.
But I did want to, I just looked it up. I was curious, so I looked it up. And this is what I found about the cost of stem cell treatments. A review of multiple medical institutions reveals an average cost of stem cell treatment for knees approximately $3,000 to $5,000 per knee, depending largely on geographical location. Now, that's actually having them apparently shot into your knee, which may or may not help. I don't know. I've heard people who've had stem cell treatments and it has not helped.
Well, I actually did, when I was doing a health fair a few months ago with Leslie, we had a couple of ladies, they were good friends, they went and they got their stem cell surgery done, both of them, and neither one of them worked and got on these. And got on these patches.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's what
These are
made them interest.
$149 for a month's supply, assuming that you wear one per day. For 30 patches, it's $149. So $149, $3,000 to $5,000 per knee.
You think about that.
Works for me.
Well, and the X39 is, I mean, that's their hero product right now because
Right.
stem cell is all the rage. People are wanting, we don't want to be in pain. Again, we're not making any claims to cure the pain, but what if you could lessen the discomfort of pain? I mean, we all know
Well,
what it's
and
like.
we've had a couple little things, I don't know how much time we have left, but where I've actually
minutes.
taken a stem, so I've taken the X39, which has been on my neck because I've
Yep.
worn it all day, and I have, the other day this happened, so I'd just gotten into bed and my foot was cramping right by my little toes, and it was cramping. I got up, kind of walked it out, got back in bed, it's cramping again, and I'm like, I'm never going to be able to go to sleep with the cramping. I just took my patch off my neck, I put it down right by my toes. I'm telling you, seconds.
Yep.
The cramping stopped, and my foot was fine, and never happened again.
And you told me the same story I told you, before you even had your hand off your
Right.
foot. That's what I did on my lower back just a couple of weeks ago, and before I even took my hand away from my back, I could feel it was magical.
Well,
Yeah.
I had my cleaning gal was there today, and she was having some problems, so I said, let me patch you. And she said, I can't believe it. The pain is already better.
Isn't that crazy?
It's already less.
It's crazy.
And I was like, I'm telling you, it is a miracle, and I'll take it, but there again, we have scientific facts to back us up.
Well, the clinical studies, and again, we're not making any claims whatsoever. Everybody's going to get different results, but you don't know unless you try. Now, the other really great thing I want to share about this is that there's other patches in here that will help bring you full circle. And one of them that I have to tell you about, because I know dear Suzanne Summers, you'll see you saw the video, she's in that video, and she's quite a proponent on glutathione. My husband can give you a full day seminar on glutathione and how it can help you. It helps to support the immune system and promotes the release of stored toxins. That's just one of these patches. We also have the SP6 Complete, which stimulates points on the body known to regulate appetite and reduce cravings. Nirvana is a mood enhancer that supports healthy endorphin production to enhance mood. AccuLife is safe and natural pain relief for horses. And the Y-Age Carnosine is clinically shown to increase stamina, improve strength and flexibility. And then we have the Energy Enhancer, clinically proven to increase energy and endurance. And then the Silent Nights, thank you. It enhances the quality and increases the length of
I've had really
sleep.
good reports on that.
I have too.
You know,
Absolutely.
something you didn't mention
Yes.
is it works with animals.
Well, we just said with the horses.
Yeah,
There's
right.
all kinds of YouTube video clips with the LifeWave patches, the AccuLife, and horses. So think about that. I'm all about helping our
You haven't patched your
animals.
dogs yet?
No, I haven't had to. They've been healthy. This pair of dogs are really, really healthy right now. Then we have the Y-Age Eon patch. That's clinically proven to reduce stress, decrease inflammation. And inflammation, guess what? We have enough of that. Well, you'll be feeling some pain, right? So I suggest that you go to our link, go to stemcellbreakthrough.com, spelled THRU.com, and see what the studies are in there. They're a lovely company. It's light therapy. It's an accepted science. It's regenerative science. We are all in on these products that we presented to you today. They've made our 2020 hit parade. They've passed all of our tests. You can always count on anything that we bring to you here on Prime Time that we have tested, or we feel really 110% great about it, but we do test things. We just can't. We've done that for over 20 years, right?
It's just not, we don't want to be talking about something that we just, my husband said today, well, what about that guy? He advertises on TV. I'm like, so?
What does that mean?
That doesn't impress me. I
know.
want something that works, and it works for us, and we just wanted to share that with you because you're our friends.
Exactly. And next week, it is going to be our Women Unscripted show.
Yay.
So that'll be a lot of fun, as always. It'll be our first show back for 2020. So what do you think of the show today, Tink?
I was happy with it. I
Doesn't
love
it make you
sharing.
feel
I love
good?
sharing.
How about you?
I love sharing
Champ?
good news.
How about me what?
The show today, we brought some really great information to our viewers today. What do you think of the show?
Oh, I think it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. Whatever thinking
Well,
could
he
I
was,
have done, it's great.
He was what do you call it when somebody tries things out? He tried out the socks, he's tried out the patches, he's done it all.
Yeah.
It's been a good thing.
Yeah, it really has, and it's good that we're able to deliver that. That's what we do here on Prime Time. We bring to you the best of the best that we possibly can, so hopefully you, too, have enjoyed our special edition on the Hit Parade. So let's see what we have got. We've got something in mind that we can't talk about yet, but I think we're going to try to do these shows the third Monday of every month, and just see what we have coming out next. And we'll probably do more segments on
And
these
if they have
products.
something, they could always could contact the show and suggest it to us, right?
Absolutely. We do all kinds of shows here on WeBeamTV.com. You never know. You may want to have your own show. You can get a hold of John Gaston, and of course, we will always be here to support anyone and everyone that comes on board. Let's do the right thing here across America. Thanks for joining us. Take care. See you
Bye-bye.
next week.
Bye.